Samhita Om Shanti. Peace to you, peace to me. Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Peter and today I want to talk about your former self. You have no obligation to your former self. What does that mean? No obligation whatsoever. So when you go on the journey inside of your self-discovery, you'll find that you have habits, even rituals, cycles that go round and round that keep happening. The same thing going round and round and round. And sometimes they'll lead you into trouble, or you see the same trouble coming around. You'll see the same characters, maybe played by different people, doing the same thing, causing the same issues that you haven't actually dealt with. And you will react in a certain way from your subconscious or your conditioning, much the same. And you say, well, that's me then. I can't help it. It's just the way I am. I can't help it. It's like a gangster. Hey, this is the game, man. This is the game. I can't help it. But I'm not saying you're like a gangster, obviously. But that's the kind of thing, you know. I'm this. This is me, and nothing's going to change that. So we're really severely attached to our previous self, our former self, the life that we've been living along the past. Even though there is no past, we only have the moment. It's the memories of those moments that keep coming up and conditioning us to say that we are like this. We will react in this manner when this certain thing happens. So we become very attached to that, like our there are preconceptions, and it can be as simple as you experiencing a very bad experience with someone with a bald head and a funny little beard, and you go, whoa, I'm not going to trust this guy. Look at him. He's like the other guy that I met. How can I trust him? That's holding yourself into a preconception, excuse me. And you're bringing a prejudgment into the interaction that you're having. So what you'll get is what you put out in that respect. As in, you come into a situation with a preconception and you'll have much the same experience, because that preconception will mirror itself in that human being that you're meeting. So you're attached to your previous self, and you habitually say, yeah, I know, I did that, I know. Ah, yeah. Yep, that's me. Unfortunately, can't do anything about that. That is just me. No more. When you really start to behave in that manner, there's no room for growth. There's no room for personal growth. Your ego's too stuck in that position, because your ego, don't forget, your ego always wants to be right. And that's a very good checker on your ego, because if you think, well, no, I'm right on this one, I'm definitely right, you really have to monitor yourself. Is that coming from your true self, or is that actually coming from your ego? It's a very discerning way of looking at it, to try and discover, yeah, this is actually really me. This is me speaking now, rather than my ego. Your ego wants to be right, and it wants to be recognized. Your true self is not worried about being recognized, not worried about any of that. But your ego wants to be right, and it wants to be recognized, and it wants to be adored. You are already adored as a human being. You're amazing. You have so much love, empathy and compassion deep inside of you already. That's the fact, the truth of the matter. That's going inside, the journey inside. The ego is always continually searching for that. It's searching for the love, the recognition, the power, even the power over somebody else. That's why the world's gone so crazy today, because everybody's becoming attached to their ego, and also narcissism is becoming really rife in our society, and sociopathy, where people are always right and they play with others for their own personal entertainment and damage others, which is really bad. So if you're saying, well, this is me, there's no room for your growth, but you can change very easily. You can change as easily as night goes into day, or as water when it's heated turns into steam. Might take a little bit more work, not so natural, but you can still turn into that steam, or you can turn into a butterfly from a caterpillar. You can still do that natural process, but you have to let your previous self go. You have to let it all go. And that's one of these secrets. We've had these secret societies for probably thousands of years now. I don't know, the most prevalent really, they're really popular in the 17 and 1800s. But they kept this knowledge, the Gnostics, the knowledge of letting it all go and trusting the process, trusting the universe to let you run your life the way it's supposed to be run. Your ego wants to grab hold of it and control it and steer it. And you'll find many people who have reached a goal, that they've set themselves a goal from their ego, and once they hit that goal, they're empty, hollow, upset, not happy. So they look for another goal. They climb one mountain, they see the mountain in the other distance, and it might take them years to go through the valley, then more years to go up the top of the next mountain, and then realise, oh, this is the same as the other mountain. What's going on here? And life becomes bewildering. You don't know what's all this all about. So if you realise that actually getting rid of those preconceptions that we all have of like setting these goals, it's not bad to have goals, I'm not saying that at all, but setting those goals from the ego, from your previous self, where you've been conditioned and your preconceptions will be kicking in, those goals will become meaningless once you reach them. Connect with yourself, your true self, into your heart. Once you get into your heart, then set those goals. And then when you reach those goals, you'll be realizing that you're actually serving other people while you're doing that. So you want to be a painter. Paint and paint and paint. Great, beautiful art. Enrich the world so people can view your art and go, whoa, that really sang to me, that picture. Or write a song if you're a musician, or join a band, make some music, entertain people. Learn how to meditate. Learn how to get group circles of meditation. It's wonderful when you get like-minded people together, all growing and discussing how their spiritual and physical growth is going. That's a conversation, not you see what happened on the EastEnders last night. That's not really a conversation. That's just nonsense, rubbish. It's how you perceive the world, how you are feeling about the world is really the most important thing. If it's coming from fear, that means you're coming from the ego, coming from preconception. Especially now in March 2020, we've got enormous changes happening on the planet. And you've really got to be looking at it and going, okay, this is happening, but what's happening with me inside here? Me, I've been going through enormous growth, enormous awakenings, enormous views that I didn't see before. I see situations when someone explains a situation to me and I go, well, did you see it? Did you see it from this way? Did you see that? You know what you're saying there? Do you think that's quite right? Opening up, getting rid of my previous self that would go in and go and say, no, okay, here we are, here's the situation, blah 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 blah. Do you see that? Yeah, it's more peaceful, more easy to understand, less aggressive, less coming from my previous self. My previous self, because of the trauma that I went through as a child, I've put a video up here called Trauma. You can watch that. And I was very angry and aggressive, and I was very touchy about people commenting on anything about my mother. And my previous self, if you would have said anything bad about my mother, you were in big trouble. So I became very, very violent. And I'm not proud of that, but that is my previous self. Now, if someone talks about my mother, say, well, how did you know her? She died 40 odd years ago. but they don't anymore. It was like child stuff, and I was dealing with child stuff, but that was my previous self. Now words don't hurt me. Sticks and stones will hurt me. Lack of good food will hurt me. Lack of clean air will hurt me. Lack of good water will hurt me. But words, I am a rock, my name is Peter. No, they don't hurt you. So that's all gone. All of that's gone. That was a previous version of myself. I'm working on becoming better. And you can do this too. Not easy with some things, but easy with other things. But you can change, like going from night into day. Be the beautiful sunrise that you deserve to be. Have the life that you deserve. And live in abundance, because you are worth it. And never forget that, and never let anybody ever tell you any different. You are worth it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. My name's Peter. If you have, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Sarang Hamida.